Hello! Well, we finally waited for the official announcement of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Some things that insiders said were close to the truth. Some statements remained rumors that had no real basis. Many players were extremely disappointed with what Sony showed, and some took the news positively. Although at the moment there are much fewer such gamers. However, such a division of opinions in connection with a new product from Sony happens not for the first time. Well, let's discuss what we saw at the presentation. The price of the device, hardware, equipment, and everything else. I think it will be interesting. After all, the release of a new console is always an event in the gaming industry. Here we go. Let's go. So Sony held a short presentation of its new PlayStation 5 Pro console. Sales of the system will start on November 7th. We will talk about the price of the device a little later. First, a small interesting fact. It took Sony a little more than a year and a half to create the PlayStation 5 Pro. This was reported on social networks by the famous technical insider Tom Henderson. The journalist noted that 19 months passed from the creation of the prototype to the release. Probably the engineer started working on the console in late 2022 or early 2023. As Henderson notes, the technical team led by Mark Cerny did not miss a single deadline. Thus, the engineer met the deadline exactly. Henderson called this result impressive. Well, that's really cool. We can say that the console was created in record time. Yes, maybe not from scratch, but still serious engineering work was carried out, and a lot of effort was spent on testing and optimizing the new device. So what will PS Pro please us with? Let's move on. As the lead platform architect Mark Cerny said, the new console has become better in 3 areas at once: increased GPU performance, improved ray tracing, and improved image reconstruction. The latter function is called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, and it is implemented through the introduction of AI. As for the GPU, it received more computing units by 67% and faster memory by 28%. As a result, the graphics adapter renders images 45% faster. Ray tracing has been improved 2 to 3 times. As a result, players will be able to play in high resolution and at a stable 60 frames per second. Here, please, in more detail. What does Sony mean by high resolution? The 4K figure was not announced. Apparently, we can expect a stable 60 Hz at a resolution from 1080p to 1440p. And a stable frame rate of 60 Hz at a resolution of 4K awaits us only in the next generation? It becomes somehow sad from such news, don't you think? The console was additionally provided with a 2TB SSD and Wi-Fi 7 support. Increased hard drive capacity is always cool. We give Sony a plus for this. But the following nuance greatly disappointed the players. I'm talking about the lack of a built-in disk drive in the starting package. That is, if you have collected a large collection of games on physical media and want to play from discs, be kind enough to buy a disk drive. In addition to the lack of a disk drive, the kit does not even include a stand for vertical positioning of the console. It will also have to be purchased separately. Many internet users believe that Sony, in addition to buying the console itself, forces players to spend extra money to get a full-fledged console. How Sony will react to this, and whether it will include these options in the kit in the future, is still unknown. Sony also provided a list of games that will receive updates at the launch of the PS5 Pro. For example, Gran Turismo 7 will be able to run on a powerful system at 4K resolution at 60 FPS with ray tracing in racing games, or at 8K resolution at 60 FPS without ray tracing. This is impressive, but it is worth noting that such a significant improvement can be applied to any PlayStation 5 game on PlayStation 5 Pro, only with a special patch for a specific game. The same information is presented in the official trailer for the console from Sony. PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. The feature is only available in certain PlayStation 5 games that have been enhanced for PlayStation 5 Pro. The improvements will vary depending on the game. Sony went on to explain in more detail how the built-in image quality enhancement technologies work. Games on PlayStation 5 Pro will have several options for enhanced playback. In addition to full optimization through patches for some titles, owners of the more powerful console will be able to notice improvements even in those games that have not undergone a special update, thanks to built-in features. Sony confirmed that the PSSR AI upscaler will automatically work with the entire library and scale the resolution to 4K without the need to install additional updates from developers. In addition, PS5 Pro will offer Game Boost and enhanced image quality for PlayStation 4 games played via backward compatibility. The former will be applied to more than 8,500 games, helping to stabilize or improve performance, while the latter will improve the resolution in a select number of titles. What can we say? Almost all the games from the starting list are projects that came out quite a long time ago, and some are even starting titles. Many players have already completed them and replayed them several times. Therefore, these updates will be primarily relevant for new players who are taking the PS5 console for the first time. We are interested in how the console will work in new technological games, as well as how much the difference in graphics will be visible in the games of the previous generation. Now let's talk about the price. The cost is generally not super low, and this is taking into account the above-mentioned negative aspects. Another nuance is that Sony is asking for $700 for the PS5 Pro in the US and €800 in Europe. You will have to buy a disk drive and a stand for vertical installation separately if you need them, which will increase the final price by approximately another €120. Total almost €1,000. Consoles have never been so expensive as far as I remember. It is worth saying that prices are rising not only for consoles, but also for computer components and consumer equipment in general. Whether it is really expensive or the price is quite reasonable, the consumer will of course decide. So what do we have in the end? Yes, the console's power has increased, but it's hard to judge how much. The difference in graphics shown is not significant according to many players. An early comparison of games for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro has appeared online. The video is based on footage shown during a technical presentation of the updated console, and therefore it may not fully reflect how these games will look and work in reality. However, from the first demonstration, it becomes clear that not all games optimized for PS5 Pro will have significant advantages. For example, Hogwarts Legacy will use the console's powerful hardware for more accurate ray tracing. Gran Turismo 7 will also look a little better due to the implementation of ray tracing directly during races. At the same time, some of the games, judging by what was shown, will not be transformed so noticeably on PS5 Pro. At least it is very difficult to find the difference even with a direct comparison, users write. On the other hand, it is worth considering that the PS5 Pro is aimed not only at improving the picture, but also at increasing the frame rate. Detailed tests should be expected closer to the launch of the console from technical experts. So, I believe that most likely, as in the case of the PS4 Pro, the new device will be more of a transitional nature and will not be of much interest to the mass consumer, who will rather choose the cheap version of the PS5. I think the new console will be more interesting to fans, geeks, large technical analysts, and only last of all to simple casual players. Also, during the presentation, Sony did not say anything about the backward compatibility of the PS3, which many are waiting for, and we did not hear loud announcements about the development of new big games from Sony's internal studios. But all this may appear in the future. Let's hope for the best and wait for new interesting news. That's all. Thanks for watching. See you in the next videos. Bye.